right, welcome to that program where we get to discuss topical people and topical issues. In this program, where we get to mingle and interact with those that have done something that is worth noticing. And today we are in the artistic industry, we're in the music sector in South Africa with a son of Zimbabwe there who has achieved quite a lot, vocal jazz, you name it. He's been there and he's there and doing us proud. We say good day and welcome to Vuyo Tshuma. Good day, welcome to the program, Vuyo.
Good day to you and a good day to everybody wherever you are in the world. It's a profound privilege and an honor to be in the presence of you all.
This is for all the July babies. We celebrating our birthdays this month. Everyone on this month of July, this is your song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, July babies. Happy birthday to you. Come, let's celebrate. Happy birthday. Keep it real.
If I were to say that music is in Vuyo and Vuyo is in music, the two are Siamese twins, would I be right or wrong?
You'd be absolutely correct. Siamese twins is the perfect picture to describe this thing. I was born with the gift, and I live music. I it's part of me. It's a very tight marriage, I must put it that way. It's I'm inseparable from music. Neither is it from me.
Let's break it down. Who is Vuyo Tshuma?
I am Vuyo Tshuma, and I am born to a family of musicians. My father passed on the gift to me. Born and raised in the presence of choral music and quartet music, during which, upon growing up, my ear expanded to accommodate these other various styles of music, most notably jazz, and in particular vocal jazz. And grew up in a family of three. I was born first. My young brother who comes after me, we are actually 5 years apart. And the sister who follows my young brother is also 5 years behind him. So I guess our parents were very precise in planning.
Systematic.
straight up. So yeah. I think there's some musicality in that. I think there was a great order in establishing an amicable resolution in as far as child spacing is concerned.
Vocal jazz. One may ask, vocal jazz. How did it come to you? Vocal jazz. Why vocal jazz of all genres?
I will say this carefully. Vocal jazz is not a genre which I decided to wake up to and get to choose. One would carelessly say it chose me because on growing up, I found myself gravitating towards that. I'll tell you this one thing. When I grew up, I used to sing hymnals during prayer sessions with my parents when I was about 8, 9 years old. And I would literally find myself singing different and many versions of what a melody line should be or a harmonic sequence should be. And I would literally jump up and down, interweave in and out of melodies and harmonies. And halfway through the song section, my father would look at me and say, "Hey, sing properly, man. Just follow the notes as they are." And I'll be like, "Yeah, I hear you, but I'm hearing possibilities." Okay, so to put everything in a nutshell, I began to grow up with that kind of ear, which eventually had an insatiable appetite for something that I could not really define up until a certain stage when I was in high school, where somebody started talking about take six. I never understood what it was. Later that time, after I left high school, I stumbled upon Taste 6 cassette. So somebody could not understand what was going on there, and he was like, "Hey, Vuyo, here's a cassette. I don't think I like what I'm hearing, but you might want to have this. This one may just talk to your senses very well." So I took it, and when I got home, I was like, "What?" I was in heaven, and whatever it was that I could not describe, that was sitting in my soul, that was creating this insatiable appetite for whatever it was fulfilled. And that became Vocal Jazz, the first project of Take 6. So Take 6, I give credit to them. They are my primary inspiration. After that, the Pandora's box opened in me, and I began to see other vocal jazz possibilities, not just by the exposure to other vocal groups, but I began to see vocals in smooth jazz music, instrumental music and stuff. And that became an ongoing thing within me and around me to this very day.
I've been struggling for a long time, trying to remember who performed this piece. But what I can tell is that it's from way back in the 1980s, and it's a classic, If anybody can tell me who did this piece, artist and everything, I'll be grateful, because it's a beautiful piece. So I thought perhaps I could do it. Yeah.
Now let's take a look at what you have managed to achieve. I mean, you have collaborated with some great artists, of which I would like you to share with us some of those artists that you've collaborated with, and some stages where we have heard to perform at right around the world.
Can I allow the world to accept my humility in sharing this, because it's a life-changing experience for me. I have worked with many of the greats in South Africa. Hugh Masekela. I remember meeting him one time around 2009, 2010 for that particular song, but I had known him way before then, He was intrigued, about the stuff that I was doing vocal jazz. I was introduced to him by Kaya Mahlangu, one of South Africa's most prolific saxophone players, horn players, introduced me to him. And amongst the other things that I had done with him of notable interest is having to have arranged Stimela in a vocal jazz fashion, sung by Africa Pele, and having to back up the owner of the song on stage while he sang. To me, that's a highlight of a career right there. That was around 2010. That's number one. Number two, I've worked with the likes of Bricks, his song, Rest in Peace. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who may not know the face behind the voice, I would humbly submit that was yours truly behind that voice. So Bricks, Rest in Peace, and the intro to his succeeding album after the one he released the first time around. That was around 2006, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And you have the Margaret Mutsaches, the No Kanya Dlaminis, DJ Cleo, you've got your Lucas Senyat, so you've got your Double HP, you've got your Lawrence Machiza, you've got your Tembi Silindaga, and working with Sipogazi as well, on certain live instances. Judith Sepuma, yes, very important. Judith Sepuma, I actually came up with a Christmas arrangement, which she asked me to do for a Christmas album. It's called The First Noel. It's available online. And there are many others. I mean, Zwaibala, a whole lot of guys. Then on the international front, I collaborated with, in fact, I had the opportunity to be part of the Andreas Vollenweider and Friends band. That's the highlight of my career right there. That's one of the highlights, where we actually got together and we performed at the Standard Bank Jazz South Africa 2008 and 2009. if I remember clearly, in Newtown and in Carnival City, Boksburg. So it was from there that we were invited to perform in Switzerland at the Montreux Jazz Festival in the Miles Davis Hall, where we got to share the stage with Raoul Midon, Richard Bona, and even shook hands with Quincy Jones, and there's Chaka Khan. It's a very humbling experience for me. It was rather a very humbling experience for me, and besides Andreas Vollenweider, I currently am working with and performing with Frederic Siyun from Belgium, very big European artist from Belgium, who's also big in South Korea. I have been in his band as a backing vocalist for the past 11 and a half years with my 4 compatriots with whom I work. 2 gentlemen, 2 ladies working with this guy. So those are the international collaborations that I have done. And of late, doing an arrangement for an American talented vocal geniuses. They are called Acapella is Life. That consists of Gabriel Kunda, Ashley J, DJ Raymond, and Caleb Sean. And there's a lady there, her name is Liv, and Jarius Banks. Those are the guys I have been humbled to make an arrangement of a song by Bill Gaither, Because He Lives, written by Bill Gaither and arranged by yours truly. It's that typical Take 6 sound that because that was what they asked for, and it was my profound delight to empty myself on that one. So my true nature came out in that particular, arrangement. Other than that, Africapella is one of the groups that I've worked with for the longest time, from 2006. That was when the group solidified, and we are active to this very day. So I must submit that I am the primary arranger of the group. I have been deemed to be the group's sound, if we may put it. And it's been that way to this day. Yes, we do have other vocal arrangers in the group. So the relationship that we have is that one of the arrangers, Vuyo in Club, is a very good songwriter, a composer, and a vocal arranger in his own right. But the symbiotic relationship that we've developed is such that he writes, he composes, and then I do the vocal arrangement so that they come out the way they should be, with that vocal fanfare. So yeah, amongst the others, I may remember some along the way, but for now, I think for the collaborations and performances that come at the top of my head, these are the ones I've just mentioned to you now.
What would be your word, say, to somebody who is getting into the artistic sector, music in particular? You were indicating that you were bringing a genre that was weird, so to say, when you were starting to sing at home. What would be your word to somebody out there pertaining to taking roads that have been enchanted before?
I would first of all say, follow your heart. Follow your heart. Trust me, there's going to be many distractions along the way in various shapes and sizes. But if you have a calling towards something, regardless of what's there, chances are you may adjust to some because of musical adaptation skills and stuff, but follow your heart. At one point in time, I did encounter certain obstacles, where due to the nature of my arrangements, especially when I was arranging way back then, I was once labeled a Satanist, because at that time people could not understand what was going on. You start a song on one key, it ends on another, and it's got 6-part harmonies and this thing of perfect pitch as well. People were like, what's going on? Because that's one other gift that I do have, the gift of perfect pitch, where I don't just see, where I do see music, I can identify the keys as they are on the piano, and from whatever sound source you may determine, and regurgitate those same keys without musical reference. So those ones became very useful tools for me to this day. I don't just see keys and I go further, I see them as chords as well, and I see tones in color as well. So before I go further, for example, if I can tell you that when it comes to issues of perfect pitch, I enjoy it. Some may call it a curse, because if you listen to a band and their frequencies off, for me it's as good as a semitone or a tone off. That's how much it hurts. For example, if I say, if I sing to you the key of F, if it will sound like this, that will be F, and I can go to G, I can go to A, B, C, and maybe I go to E flat, and I go to A flat, and I go to D, and singing chords like let's say a chord of E flat, I go something like this. For example, some jazz aficionados can put a musical term to it. Like, for example, you'll get your that's E flat on the bass clef, and you get your B flat, and you get your F, and then you get your that'll be D, and you get your G, and then you get your that's B flat. So that's one example of how I can see chords and stuff, So yeah, I would urge people to never give up on their goals. It may not reward in the immediate. I have experienced that. It takes some time, but for as long as you've got something unique and special to offer, persevere. Somebody's going to have their attention grabbed and drawn by you, and put your talent and gifts to good use. And when the rewards start coming in, you'll look back and say, you know what? It was worth the trial. And then you'll be like, gold tried in the fire. In as far as enjoying your gift and enjoying a return on investment is concerned.
What would be the advice for somebody? Maybe they are in whatever genre that they are in, but they want to enter this international market.
If you want to enter the international market, fortunately, we live in a world upon whose distances have been shortened by wireless connectivity and many platforms that one can use to venture into certain musical stratospheres out there. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, websites and stuff. If people can affiliate themselves to those channels to get themselves out there with their content, the world market is so big for anything good and unique that can be accepted on a global palette, on a global space. So let people not give up. I would urge them to exploit these avenues so that at the end of the day, you increase your chances of being noticed, whether it be in a particular niche, some would say niche, and be it in a certain audience bracket, be it that you nail it big somewhere, you have made an impact through the particular exposition channel that you'll have chosen. What's important is make yourself available everywhere with what you've got as skills, as material that you've got, and over time, be patient. Everything is going to pull through. I'll give an example. There's a very prolific South African artist. His name is Master KG, who became very popular in the year 2020 with Jerusalema. Social media and online activity got him to where he is today. That's a plus on top of the good music that he's producing, which has received world acclaim, and he's riding on that success crest, and I congratulate him. So I'd urge everybody else who wants to go down that exposition route, we might want to follow his example, and many other artists who go through the time and the pangs of pain to get through, to be exposed in that particular manner, not to give up, but to be unrelenting. Eventually there's going to be rewards. And remember to stay focused. It will benefit in the end.
Just briefly, I know that you have diversified from just singing for yourself or for performances, but you're doing more in terms of
Right.
Like maybe just give us a wrap up of that.
Yes, I do vocal training. I do vocal coaching for groups, individuals, and choirs. I address the person from within to make them feel relevant to oneself, so that when we polish the peripherals of what else the person can do in the music stratosphere, they know exactly who they are musically. So I do a lot of vocal coaching, online and offline training, and all the details are there on my website. My website is www.vuyomusic.com, and all my social media handles are there. And on my website in particular, that's where you get a very detailed breakdown of the kind of services that I offer. And I'm more than willing to engage with the world to see where we can help each other. What's important is to share knowledge and help each other grow musically.
Well, Vuyo, thank you so much for joining us. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful just to share experiences and learn from you. I'm sure that a lot will find this beneficial. Now, we look forward to another edition where you'll be able to tell us more.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Next time when we meet, we're gonna engage further like so. Woo, 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 ba-do-da, do-da, do-da.
So that was Vuyo Tshuma. He's down south, a vocal jazz artist. I'm sure that you find something that tickles your fancy. Thank you so much. Join us next time.